Hey, welcome to Straight Talk with TJ. Today we're going to break down 5 topics that you need to know in 2025. So in 2025, we used to be a world of you live and you grow where you were born and you stay there. Now we're such a global economy, nationwide alone in the United States, that everybody is moving and that you can, a lot of places can actually work from home and can still live in a different location for where they're working. So with that understanding, there's been a lot of changes in our environment, in our economy. So those that are no longer interested in living perhaps where they're getting hit pretty hard in California with wildfires, say, you know what, I'm ready to make a shift. The cost of living is less expensive toward Grand Rapids, so we're gonna shift this way. Even within the own state of Michigan, where we're sitting at currently, I look at what are the hot spots? What locations do we have to focus on? Because a lot of the areas can be pretty flat in terms of not a lot of movement, not a lot of aggressiveness, not a lot of increase in regards to values. But if you look at Grand Rapids, Ann Arbor, Traverse City, those are Michigan's true hot spots. So pay attention to those. Interest rates, interest rates, interest rates. That's all that you hear. I'm not gonna move if my interest rate isn't below 5% or 4%. Well, guess what? Not gonna happen anytime soon. So either you have to be okay where you currently live or make that adjustment to say, what's worth it more to me? Making a change now to get where I need to be. Perhaps I have to have that extra bedroom. Perhaps I have to have that 3-stall garage, or perhaps I have to move so I can go take care of my parents. So we're gonna be watching very closely in 2025 interest rates, how those affect mortgage rates, and what that difference is to people's payments and their mindset. All we've been hearing about lately is housing inventory. There's a shortage of homes. Here in Grand Rapids alone, we're 7,000 homes short in the next couple of years. So what does that look like for us as an industry, us as a consumer wanting to buy a house? It means low inventory, higher prices. But it also depends on where the economy is at. So we're gonna be taking a little bit more of a bigger dive into that, because when the economy is going, hey, let's slow down here. We're a little bit nervous about what's happening in the politics reign. We're a little nervous about what happens with the trade wars. Things may actually slow down a bit for the consumer side to allow other people to get into the market when they normally couldn't have. So we're in 2025, and you and I have both heard the headlines going, AI, what is this all about? Well, I can tell you, having this being my 24th, heading into my 25th year in the real estate business, that back when I started, I had a pager. I'm not kidding, an actual pager. So those little cards that you'd get for a real estate home, my grandpa, who was also a builder and realtor back in the day, would never throw those away because you never knew when you could get that information again. Well, AI and internet have completely changed our world. Now the consumer, meaning you, get to research, have fun, go online, and get all the information before you probably even talk with a realtor. So what does that look like for us moving forward in this business? That means that the consumer can be educated, but you've got to be careful. What you always read online is not always true. So we were in 2025, 5 years already past the beginning of COVID, when COVID changed our lives upside down, and we went from in office all the time to working from home and working remote. So how is the commercial end of our business affected by all this change? Let's focus first on office space. Office space, working from remote positions now are starting to have that movement back toward going back to office spaces. Maybe not 100%. And depending on the business that you are in, you may have the pick and choose where you want to go, and you may have more leverage that you don't want to go home if your new company is requiring that. Retail spaces, with big giants out there like Amazon, the retail space is finding a new niche of figuring out where they're going to be the best fit. It used to be if you wanted to go get a book, you go to the bookstore. Then it went to Amazon and just order. And now, believe it or not, the trend is going back to bookstores. Then you look at industrial spaces. Those I have not seen a huge shift in, simply because if we are already manufacturing them here, we have not seen those jobs heading out overseas, that those buildings are still being used and processed. So right now, the commercial space is a really interesting thing to watch as we head into 2025.